You want to know why lower income people are some of the best problem solvers? Well, here's a little story for you. My stepfather, who I was raised by, came from a lower income family. He had 3 siblings. Also, my mother was young, just like him, and came from a lower income family. They both had to work really hard to make ends meet. We grew up lower income. Eventually, they did better. Here's the thing. He worked in Roustabout. He worked in Roustabout for several years and eventually started his own company. But he also, on the side, would change out motors for himself and friends. He would put in transmissions. My grandfather was a lineman. He would do the same kind of thing. He was really mechanically inclined. They could build a deck on a house. They could put a porch on it. They could do all these kind of things. And I remember asking him, how is it that y'all are able to do this later, as I get older, all these different things? And they said, because we couldn't afford to pay nobody else. I literally have seen them pull up to a tree over the weekend and use that limb, whether safe or not, and hoist out a motor and replace the engine in a vehicle and to drive it for Monday to work. So anyways, the thing is you don't see that anymore. And if you ask an economist or an economic major, they're going to explain to you concepts like specialization, absolute advantage, comparative advantage. And while all that stuff works in theory, it's not practical, because a lot of trades you don't spend 80% of your time in. You have time outside of work and family a lot of times, even if you're working 60, 70 hours a week. So I'm not telling you to change out a motor, but I'm telling you, if you come like today, this is an MKC 2017 Lincoln that I had to change the battery. It's a pain to change the battery because you got to take the air intake and all kinds of stuff out of the way. It's a pain to get back there. But we have videos. We don't have to look through big, thick books like they did back then to do small repair jobs. We can do that. So instead of getting an app or doing something to solve puzzles for your cognitive, why don't you start trying to solve real life problems? You got a serpentine belt on the front of your engine? You can look up on YouTube how to do that. If you need to change an alternator, a lot of times, depending on where its placement is, you can do that. If it's out of your wheelhouse completely, sure, take it to the mechanic. But before then, try to do it and look at it as not a job, but as a chance to improve your problem solving skills. Anyway, that's my take on it. God bless you. I'll see you next time.